Hi, this is Dr. Kirk Megu, TV and podcast host and former university lecturer. Today I was talking to a colleague of mine and we were speaking about networking and how important it is, for also like even in the media, for getting media gigs, for if you have a podcast, for getting guests, even if you're just, publishing or wanting speaking gigs. I mean, how much networking is so important, and and if you're not part of a network, how you can be excluded from the very creation of knowledge itself. Uh, I was remembering the first time I, started to network with people very much above me. I think it's kind of been part of my practice for a long time, and it's something that you really have to do. And I distinctly remember when it happened. It's when I was doing field research for my undergrad degree, because the program I was in, which was International Development Studies at the University of Toronto, you had to do field work abroad. And so I did, and I went to the university. My fieldwork was in Trinidad because at the time I was living in Canada, and I was at the University of Toronto, and so I went to the university in Trinidad, and I had just found a collection of articles by really radical scholars who were Marxists or radical nationalists and independent type thinkers who were against the current independence regimes in the region and wanted more radical independence. And I was really, really into those guys, and I idolized them in many ways and looked up to them. And I remember when I went to the university for the first time, it was even kind of a nervous feeling, walking through the walls and through the halls, not the walls, the halls, and looking at the doors and seeing. And I couldn't believe I would see a name. Oh, I know, the piece that person wrote. Oh, what Susan Craig is it? Oh, I love her piece. Oh, and it was just like every door almost had someone whose work I knew and read, and I mean was obscure in a lot of ways, but for me, I just loved it. I loved their work, and I thought they were just amazing people, uh, and I really wanted to contact them. I was there, and I was hoping that they would see me, and I guess I just worked up the nerve, and I think being out of my context was probably an important factor in that. I was out of my normal, natural context, and I couldn't believe it when one or two lecturers, not everybody, responded, in a friendly, open manner and spoke to me, but a couple did, and it was amazing. I just really was amazed that I could talk and interact and have these discussions, and it's kind of been like that ever since, and even up to today, right? I mean, just the other day, just even approaching Dr. Shashi Tharoor, I was a bit nervous. The great Indian, author, intellectual, researcher, statesman, MP, uh, and he's going to come on my podcast next week. Now that one, I had actually, tried to mail him a few times, and I wasn't getting any response. But luckily, I met someone that knew him, right? An Indian journalist who came down here, and then he interviewed me, and it just led to that our discussion. But there's always we are so the whole idea of 6 degrees of separation, that we are at most 6 degrees separated from anybody in the world. It's probably smaller than that. Once you know the people who know somebody who knows somebody, and who knows the person you want to get to, you can reach anybody you want, and you really have to get over it. Get over your fear. You have to banish all your fear and be bold and just do it. The most they can say is no, and they might ignore you, But and if they ignore you, doesn't mean no either. It could mean just that they're busy, or for some reason it never reached them. So always, uh, I I want to leave that advice with you. Always be bold in your networking. Contact whoever you want to contact. Contact your dream people, right? You never know. You never know. I met my dream people in my life, whether it be, V.S. Naipaul or Lloyd Best or, people who I've reached out to. Not everybody. There's still some people I want to reach out to. Steve Bannon, if you're looking, I do want to reach out to you. And I know a lot of people will be scandalized. They hate him. I'd love to talk to him. He's a fascinating guy. But anyways, so that's my advice and my story for today. I'll talk to you and see you later. Okay, bye.